My sister called me unwanted at her own wedding. My parents didn't stop her. They laughed. But what I did next wiped the smiles off their faces instantly. I almost didn't go to the wedding. Something in me knew I shouldn't. That quiet voice, the one I had ignored my entire life, kept telling me I didn't belong there. But I went anyway, because no matter how they treated me, they were still my family. The venue was beautiful. White roses lined the aisle. Soft music played in the background. And guests laughed as if everything was perfect. And maybe it was, just not for me. From the moment I arrived, I felt it. The looks, the whispers, the way conversations paused when I walked past, like I wasn't supposed to be there, like I had already done something wrong just by showing up. My parents barely acknowledged me. My mom gave me a quick glance before turning back to greet other guests. My dad nodded once, no smile, no warmth, then walked away like I was just another stranger in the room. I told myself it didn't matter. I had gotten used to it. Growing up, my sister was always the center of everything. The one they were proud of. The one they showed off. And me, I was the extra. The one they never really talked about. The one who didn't quite fit into their perfect family image. Still, I stayed. I found a seat near the back and watched as the ceremony began. My sister walked down the aisle, glowing, smiling like she had everything she ever wanted. My parents sat in the front row, emotional, proud, everything they had never been for me. I clapped when everyone else did. I smiled when I was supposed to. I played my part. After the ceremony, the reception started, and that's when things got worse. People gathered around my sister, congratulating her, praising her, celebrating her. No one came to me. No one spoke to me. I stood there, alone, holding a glass I wasn't even drinking from. And then it happened, the moment I should have seen coming. My sister grabbed the microphone. The room quieted instantly. She smiled brightly, looking around at everyone. Then her eyes landed on me. And something in her expression changed. Something cold. Something familiar. She raised the mic and said something that made the entire room go silent. She smiled into the microphone, her voice sweet and confident. I just want to thank everyone for coming, she began, glancing around the room as guests nodded and smiled. Then her eyes landed on me. Her smile changed, subtle but sharp. And honestly, she continued lightly, it's surprising to see everyone here tonight. A few people chuckled. I felt my stomach tighten. She tilted her head slightly, pretending to think. Well, almost everyone. More laughter. Then she looked directly at me. And then there's my sister, she said, her tone shifting just enough to make the room uneasy. The one who was never really wanted silence. It hit me like a slap. For a second, I couldn't even breathe. Someone near me gasped quietly. I looked toward my parents. My mom covered her mouth like she was shocked, but then she laughed. A quiet, muffled laugh. My dad shook his head, smiling like it was just some harmless joke. Something inside me broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. After years of being ignored, overlooked, treated like I didn't belong, they had finally said it out loud, in front of everyone. Unwanted. My fingers tightened around the glass in my hand. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, my ears ringing as the room stayed uncomfortably quiet. My sister let out a small laugh, trying to lighten the moment. Relax, it's just a joke, she said quickly, waving her hand. But no one laughed this time, because everyone had heard it, and everyone knew it wasn't a joke. I slowly placed my glass down on the table. My hands weren't shaking anymore. If anything, I felt calm, strangely calm, like something had finally settled inside me. I looked at my parents again. They avoided my eyes now. Of course they did. because for the first time, they couldn't pretend. I had spent my whole life staying quiet, letting things go, telling myself it wasn't worth it. But standing there, in that room, surrounded by people who had just witnessed exactly how I was treated, I realized something. I had nothing left to lose. My sister was still holding the microphone, smiling awkwardly, trying to move on. And yeah, thank you all for being here. Can I have that? My voice cut through the room. Clear, calm, unexpected. Every head turned. My sister froze. What? She said, blinking. I stepped forward slowly, my eyes locked on hers. The mic, I said, let me say something. She hesitated. For a moment, it looked like she might refuse. But the room was watching, waiting, and she didn't want to look bad. So, slowly she handed it to me. The second it touched my hand, everything changed. The room was completely silent as I held the microphone. I looked at my sister first, then my parents, then everyone else. I'm glad she said it. I began calmly. A few people shifted uncomfortably, because now I don't have to pretend anymore. My mom shook her head slightly. Don't do this. But I didn't stop. My whole life, I continued. I thought something was wrong with me, that I wasn't enough, that I had to earn love that should have been given freely. Silence. Heavy. Real. But the truth is, I paused, taking a breath. I was never unwanted. I looked straight at my parents. I was just in the wrong family. A sharp gasp echoed somewhere in the room. My sister's face went pale. My dad looked like he'd been hit. And today, I said softly, placing the mic down, you finally proved it. I turned and walked away. No tears, no hesitation. And behind me, not a single person was laughing anymore. I stepped out of the spotlight, letting the music play over the awkward silence that had fallen. For years, I had carried their judgment, their favoritism, their laughter at my expense. Every birthday, I wasn't acknowledged, every achievement minimized, every hurtful word left unspoken. It all added up. But tonight, I finally spoke. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't throw a scene. I simply spoke the truth. And that truth was more powerful than anything they could have said to dismiss me. My sister didn't apologize. My parents didn't try to defend themselves. They couldn't, because everyone had seen it. Everyone had heard it. And in that moment, I realized something crucial. I had spent my life seeking validation from people who would never give it. But validation isn't given. It's claimed. And I had just claimed mine. I walked toward my husband, who took my hand gently, pride and love shining in his eyes. No words were necessary. He had witnessed everything. He knew my worth, even when my own family tried to deny it. Guests approached quietly, offering congratulations, support, and encouragement. Strangers who were just there for the wedding had become witnesses to my strength. For the first time, I felt free, truly free. I realized that family isn't just about blood. It's about respect. It's about care. It's about choosing to stand by someone, even when it's inconvenient. And for the first time, I knew I didn't need my parents' approval to feel whole. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most fail. But the ones who choose to love you, truly without conditions, are the ones who matter. And that night, standing in a room that had once felt hostile, I finally understood. I was enough. Always had been. Always would be. And nothing, not their laughter, their judgment, or their favoritism, could ever take that away. Your one click can keep these stories alive. Subscribe, because every voice deserves to be heard.